I'm an Amanita.
I beg your pardon?
People climb for different reasons. Biology only meant us to be around here for so long.
Probably outlived that already.
We're like past that. So, and just instantly, okay, I've got to do this the rest of my life.
Hey folks, welcome to another Icebox session. My name is Sean Cassidy and we are in conversation with Nova Scotia rock climbers. Today's guest is not actually from Nova Scotia, but he does spend a lot of time here. I sat down with Greg Hughes last fall in the Icebox after a day of climbing at Mainface. We talked about his connection to the sport that began in his 40s and is now consuming his early retirement years on what seems to be a perpetual road trip. Shortly after we talked in the fall, he was on his way to Kalymnos in Greece. And at the moment, he's just wrapping up an ice climbing trip to Newfoundland and is on his way back to Mexico to finish the winter sport climbing. Greg is a certified mountain guide, president of Ascent New Brunswick, passionate route developer, and all-around nice guy. Please sit back and enjoy this chill conversation we had in the Icebox. We have a special guest today, a visitor from New Brunswick, the one and only Mr. Greg Hughes. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
I would say an honorary Nova Scotia climber. You climb here more often than I do these days, it seems.
Spent a lot of time in Cape Clear and also spent a lot of time climbing ice. Fundy region, Cape Chignecto, Cap d'Or.
That's probably how you first, you started climbing here is through the ice climbing, right?
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Moose River as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's inland.
Yeah. I think I've been up there. What pulled you into the ice climbing originally? Was it other people or you just came? Was it Max or Roger maybe?
It was probably Max Fisher and Roger's guidebook, the late Roger Fage. Fantastic guy and passionate ice climber. And of course, he and Matt Peck put up Siren Song.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, over Cape Split. So,
which you are going to guide myself and maybe Rich.
Going to take you and Rich up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my pleasure.
This winter, if
Can't
you're
wait
around.
to get back there. It's been a few years since I did that climb. But yeah, so that's kind of the early forays into Nova Scotia climbing. And not long after I started climbing, I found out about Cape Clear. And because there was a number of New Brunswick climbers that went there. John Bowles, Chris Henniger, Alexis Berube.
Yeah.
And they wrote trip reports. Corey Richardson and Thomas Anderson, who is out in Squamish now. They also went in there, put up routes, did trips, made trip reports, and
yeah, those were good. I remember those reports.
Yeah.
And I climbed up there with John Bowles and Chris.
Oh, you did?
Cool. For some of those
nice
routes on the Sunset Wall.
Sunset Wall, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably never been repeated.
Yeah, they're a bit loose and janky.
Yeah.
Janky, maybe? Sharp.
Yes.
Man, it's sharp up there.
Yeah.
What draws you to Cape Clear then?
It's where it is, it's just kind of the ultimate adventure for this area. Multi-pitch, wilderness. The rock quality is not great, and that is a little bit of a problem, but in some ways it also adds to the challenge and the mystique. Yeah. But yeah, it's a fantastic place. And I'm going to keep going back for a while.
Yeah. How many trips have you done up there to date, do you think?
Oh, boy. Let's see. I would say close to a dozen.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually when I go, I like to spend up to a week there just because it's, kind of a ordeal to get there for me. It's, a little over 6 hours, and it's nice to bring in the van because a little more comfortable, camping situation. But, taking the van there is not cheap. So, yeah, I like to spend some time, not just weekend trip or a couple of days here and there. Not like you folks around the Halifax area where I guess it's
It's still a journey, man. I don't know.
4 hours.
Yeah, a solid 4.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's like it's 6.5.
Are there other New Brunswickers joining you on these forays recently? I haven't heard as much activity from others.
There have been. Caleb Mazurkowitz actually put up a route.
Oh, okay. I recognize that name.
He's done a lot of development in New Brunswick, especially at Red Rock. He was kind of spearheaded the development at Red Rock.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm an Amanita.
I beg your pardon? You're what?
I think that was one of your favorite routes at the creek wall.
Oh, okay. Was that 11A maybe?
It's graded 10C.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like...
I must have found it hard.
Sustained 10C. It's like
okay.
There's not a lot of rests on it.
I'm an Amanita.
I'm an Amanita. So Amanita is a mushroom.
Yeah.
And the whole wall the theme is...
Mushroom theme.
Is wild mushrooms.
Yeah, we don't need to go through all the names.
No, there's a couple that kind of
could be edited.
Got redacted or a little bit of some problems with. So
yeah. And you've been up there with a revolving roster of Nova Scotia climbers as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. It's been a bunch. Will Sardy, Nathan Benjamin, Henry Morrow, Graham Dexter's been up there. So climbing with them, putting up routes with those guys.
Emily Keast, you
Emily
put up
Keast,
that route
yes,
with her?
We put up Price of Admission together. Price of Admission.
Why did you call it Price of Admission?
Oh, well, let's skip that part. Yeah.
This is going to get you in trouble if you go too far down this road.
Do you really want to know the story?
I don't, whatever.
So we had this 4-pitch line.
Yep.
And there was this kind of nice traversing pitch in the middle of the route, pitch 3, that went across this section of rock that had some cracks in it, and the rock quality was actually pretty good. So,
which is weird for up there.
Yeah. So naturally, I thought, well, we could have this pitch be trad, and albeit somewhat run out. I did put 1 bolt, but the pitch was trad. I think you needed, half a dozen pieces maybe to protect it reasonably well. And so we put it up like that. It saw a few ascents. I don't think it saw a lot. And I just, after going to Potrero and seeing how things were developed down there, I started to see the light a little bit on, making a 4-pitch route that had 3 pitches of bolts. It didn't make a lot of sense to have 1 pitch of trad.
Stuck in the middle.
The idea for the name was, the price of admission to climb the whole route is to bring a trad rack with you. And it seemed
which when I heard the name of that, I thought, oh, that's cool. Like Greg's really respecting the traditional history, blah, blah, blah. And then, whoop, we're bolting it all.
But, some people may call this a weak argument, but I will say that you're more than welcome to go up there with a rack and climb pitch 3.
That's fine. I'll clip those bolts. I have no pride anymore. So we were proposing a name change together, or we were searching,
And what were the ideas?
It's now called, it's not the price of admission. It's now called Free Pass.
Free Pass. That's a good one.
Which is fine by me. It sounds really cool. Is that the one that goes up the dike or something? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and this summer would have been a great time to climb it because it would have been so dry. Typically, there's some moisture on the first pitch. Yeah.
So you've done probably most of the routes at Cape Clear, I'm guessing, maybe with the exception of the Sunset Wall stuff. What's your favorite route on the main wall, would you say, the head wall?
Better Than a Movie, and it goes at 11D. I think that's the nicest route on the wall.
One of the first lines up the head wall that was Jonathan Graham and Becky Craig. They originally created that 11A, I think, didn't they?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, I think
Nova Scotia grading.
the only person that I know that's sent it, like the crux pitch, is I think Henry. I know Nathan he's done all the moves. I don't think he has sent that pitch. And Henry said, I think Henry said 11C.
Okay. Yeah, he wanted to be a little soft or a little sandbaggy.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still haven't sent it. So maybe once I do, if I do,
you'll know
I'll
better. Yeah.
be able to say.
I need to get up there and try that.
Yeah.
And maybe I can send it.
I think you'd like it.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So bringing things back to the mainland, the reason you are here in the Icebox and hanging out with me for a couple of days, which has been super fun. The reason you're here is for the second annual Main Face Rendezvous.
Right.
I think that we just came home from a few hours ago.
Right.
Tell us about the rendezvous.
Yeah. So it happened at Main Face, which is, I believe, one of Nova Scotia's best traditional crags.
Yeah.
If not the best crag on the mainland. And, it makes total sense that it is. I arrived Friday, climbed with Nathan Friday afternoon, got to sample, some of the classics there, and like wonderful rock, fantastic exposure and position, above the lake. Great spot. So gathering of the community for Nova Scotians to come and hang out and spend the day climbing together, and I was happy to join.
Yeah, it was great to have you there, and in fact, you were a special guest speaker there as well. Not only are you appearing on the Icebox episode, which is an honor, but you were invited to speak to the group, which was great to hear your. It was billed as the 7 things every climber should know, I think.
Correct.
And that shocked me to realize there were 7 things. I thought there were like 2 or 3. So that was very educational. Thank you. Of those 7, what's the most important thing for people to know?
I think things like being able to, for example, transferring the belay over to another person. If you need to not necessarily escape the belay, but pass it off to someone else and do it in such a manner that the climber is not put in any jeopardy. I think that's important. And so the rappelling strategies, the idea there was to give people other options if they get in a situation where they can't rappel as they normally would. Like, for example, the Reepschneer rappel, where one of your strands of your rope coming out of the rappel anchor is damaged and you've only got one good strand. So how you
That was a really cool one.
Yeah, it's really important to know. And learn that from teaching rescue courses.
But you were saying that, it's tough it would be difficult to describe that on this audio podcast, but so essentially it's a technique. If you have half of your rope somewhere along there, you've got a core shot or something, and you don't trust it to rappel as a double line, you basically tie a bight in one side of it.
Right.
And you rappel on the other rope, the good side of the rope.
Correct.
And as you weight that rope, that knot, that bight that you tied off sort of jams into the rappel anchors, I think, right? So you're rappelling down, which is great if you have a damaged rope. But you were saying you actually do that as a normal method yourself, whether your rope's good or not. Why do you do that?
I really enjoy the simplicity involved in rappelling on a single strand with a gree-gree. And that probably came about from learning how to simu rappel with gree-grees. And I just wanted to keep on doing that. And less gear is better.
Does that mean you don't even bring up an ATC? Because you just
try not to.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I know it's risky.
Yeah.
So far, it has not been a problem.
So you mentioned knolls. Is this why, clearly you're up on rescue techniques and rope management and belaying, rappelling, and, getting out of situation. So was it Knowles? Is that where you got your training for that?
Yes. So I started working for them in 2009, and the last course I worked was in 2019.
So 2009, you started doing that. And when did you retire from being a teacher?
So that would be 2020.
Okay, so you're doing that during the summers then?
Yes.
I guess. Okay.
Yes. And it was great because go get to see the mountains.
Yeah.
In the summer, like Idaho, Wyoming. I worked a couple of courses in the Yukon. It was really, and of course, you're getting paid to do that. So it was great.
Nice
I really
gig.
enjoyed it.
And it kind of lines up with your passion of teaching and educating and sharing that.
Yeah.
Which you still do. Like you're still, well, you did your seven tips today.
Yes.
Yeah. The tip that struck me the most was actually your last one, which it's not a technical question, but I think it was asking yourself, why do you climb? Reminding yourself, why do you climb?
Yeah.
Tell us why that's important.
So I think, people climb for different reasons. But I think the reason why this question is important is because climbing is a great activity, and it's something that we can do our entire lives. So I think the activity should be sustainable. So it should be something that you want to keep on doing over and over and make it like part of your lifestyle. So if the reason why you're climbing is because you are seeking adventure, you want to be in the company of good people and develop friendships and experience like the joy of moving over rock. All these things are going to make you want to keep doing it. So it's going to sustain you as a climber for decades, late into your life. And I think that's just great for people. So I think
you encourage people to remind themselves or understand why they do it.
Exactly.
Because if to be devil's advocate a little bit, you and I are have the same vision of wanting to maintain this kind of sport as long as we can and this lifestyle in how we live our lives. But I have known quite a number of people that were super passionate about climbing, and they loved it, and then they stopped and they just went on to something else. And just because I want to keep it in my life doesn't mean other people have to have you know what I mean? Like,
right. Absolutely. And, it doesn't have to be for everybody for their whole life. But I think asking people to examine why they're doing it might make them seek out those other things that are going to make for a more richer experience for them as climbers.
That's cool.
And make it something that they will just want to keep on doing, and it'll just make them into, better people.
Yeah. Do you think people are climbing for the wrong reasons sometimes and they don't know it? Is that what you're hinting at?
Yeah, I think people, sometimes it's, it's easy to get caught up in grade chasing, and I hesitate to say climbing for the wrong reasons, because, it can still be good. And there's nothing wrong with setting a goal in terms of like a grade and working towards it and achieving it. That's awesome. But I think there's just more to it than that.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking earlier today, because you and I are of a similar vintage. Mm-hmm. And I think we both agreed that one of our prime objectives is to be able to climb tomorrow.
Right.
And the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you ensure that's the case?
So I maintaining a relatively conservative outlook in terms of what I'm going to take on for objectives. And mostly that applies to, how difficult. And so in that case, it's, how difficult is the route? Is this something that I have climbed before? Are there things on it that would be, objective hazards for me that could cause me to have an injury? And those things I'm usually going to shy away from, or at the very least approach it with caution, which usually means, someone else is going to go first and I'm going to follow, or I'm going to TR it instead. And just like making decisions that are going to result in me probably having a greater chance of staying relatively healthy. Sometimes you're gonna get hurt. Doesn't matter what you do, but it's making decisions that are gonna keep you, for the most part, from being injured, so that then you can't climb.
How much of that is an age thing? Because I feel like, for me, recovery from certain things takes longer, and the reality is I'm not made of rubber anymore. I could bounce off the ground pretty easily a few decades ago. Is that's part of it? Right?
It's definitely
the reality for us.
It's a huge part of it. Like biology only meant us to be around here for so long, and
we've probably outlived that already.
We're like past that. So
this is bonus hour, bonus time.
So you have to think about things like that. We don't have the resiliency that we did when we were younger. So that's important to remember.
Yeah. And you told me this yesterday, I think, that you found climbing later in your life compared to a lot of folks. For me, I stumbled on it when I was around 18. And I was listening to a podcast the other day about, if you're going to achieve the top levels in the sport, particularly competition world, like you're done for unless you start at the time you're 7 or something like that, right? And I think you mentioned you came at it somewhere around 40.
Yeah.
Why did all of a sudden you stumbled into this sport, which, like, we can get into how it's really formed your lifestyle, but it's captured your spirit for the last number of years?
I think it mostly related to my job. I was a high school teacher and got a different teaching assignment, and it was outdoor education. And part of the curriculum is rock climbing. And my background was very limited. So I started teaching myself the technical aspects this was early 2000s. So there was not a lot of information online. It was mostly through books. But that only went so far. So that's how I got involved with Knowles. They had a course for outdoor professionals. So I took that 30-day course, just entirely in the field, in the North Cascades.
And you fell in love with it?
And just instantly, okay, I've got to do this the rest of my life. And I think, at that time, recognizing my age, knowing that I've only got so much time where my body's going to be, I'm going to be able to do certain things with what I've got. And also, taking into consideration things like recovery and injuries and things like that. So that just directed the level of the passion. It made me even more focused and you've got a limited window left. So
and this is exciting. So let's jump on it.
Make the best of it.
I can relate. That's cool.
Don't waste any more time.
Yeah. Not that you were wasting time.
And it's, everything happens for a reason. And I'm still happy that I'm okay with discovering it then. But I'm still trying to make up for lost time.
You are, but it's, I wonder if it's, in some ways there's probably advantages to coming into something later in life. And I've done this too much on this silly podcast, but I'll mention surfing because I came into surfing, not that long ago, like mid to late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. And maybe discovering these kind of things, whatever it might be, later in our life is actually awesome, right?
It's
To just
not a
get
bad
you
thing.
so stoked. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's wicked. So you are, you're kind of living the dream of the, a lot of climbers. You are on the road a lot. You spend winters down south. You're going to Greece next week to
Yep.
climb. I guess you've already answered the question. Like, you're doing that because you want to do that when you have the time you have. But tell us how you're structuring your life now to really build it around climbing.
So the things I love about climbing are, of course, just climbing itself, but I also really enjoy route development. I also like to be involved in our local climbing organization. So that for me is Ascent New Brunswick. So I've been involved with Ascent New Brunswick since it started in 2014. And then all the different disciplines of climbing, with maybe the exception of bouldering.
Come on now.
Not
You'll
really,
get
not
there
really
eventually.
bouldering. Getting back to those, tendons that
Yeah.
we have to be careful about.
You need the open hand grip. You can't
Right.
crimp things.
So there are just so many different facets to climbing. I also do guiding, so I'm still teaching, maybe not as much as I did after I retired from teaching, but still do it and enjoy it. And yeah, so to answer your question, I structure my life in such a way that there's variety. It's a similar theme. It's all about climbing, but there's variety and there's many different disciplines that
Keep it fresh.
keep it fresh and interesting. And then, of course, there's all the people you meet. I mean, there's, you're meeting new people all the time, but at the same time, maintaining relationships, friendships of fellow climbers. So
Yeah. It's an interesting group.
it is.
Hey,
It is.
it's a special group.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of universal. I was talking to Samantha Peveril on a earlier episode, and she described it as kind of a tribe.
Yeah.
And it's easy to connect with that tribe whatever continent you are on.
Exactly.
Right? And it feels pretty cool that way. And you sort of chase the summer, despite being an ice climber. You've been chasing the summer the last few years, right? You've spent in Mexico.
Last 3 winters, predominantly in Mexico. Last winter was the first one that I did not return home at all. The 2 previous, I did come home for a bit,
right,
to do a little bit of ice climbing, and that's my plan this year, is to come back.
You miss the ice,
Yeah.
And you're living out of your van when you're down there? Is that right?
No, there's so many hostels that you can stay at in Potrero. I have never tented or camped there. It's always been under a roof. There's just so many, and they're reasonably priced. So why not?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before that, I had the impression you were spending a lot of time in Red Rocks.
Yes. And that was in my van.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Your Sprinter van, right? Your big
I wish.
tricked out Sprinter van? No.
Ford Econoline.
Ford Econoline.
Yeah. No, it does the job.
That's pretty badass. So you're involved with Ascent New Brunswick. You're what do you guys call it? You're the chair of that group, or president? President. That seems to be functioning well. You have a solid membership.
We do. We have over 200 members, for the last bunch of years. I would say at least 10. Our membership is well over 200 every year.
And what are the main mandates of that organization that makes it seem so relevant to that many climbers?
So number one is acquire and preserve access to climbing areas.
Yeah.
Which of course is like usually the main goal of any LCO and
LCO, what?
Local climbing organization.
Oh, of course. LCO.
Promote responsible climbing practices is our second goal. And then I would say after that, it's fostering community relations, doing things to try and promote the community within and even, for example, we have, and a little bit outside the community, because we have lots of Nova Scotia members of Ascent New Brunswick. So we want to support
Very cool.
the Nova Scotia community as well. But the main focus is making sure that our climbing areas are there for our climbers to enjoy. Right now, we're definitely in kind of a rough spot because we have, at the moment, we do not have a access agreement with Base Gauge Down, which means we cannot go climbing in Cochrane Lane or Sunnyside. Two pretty important crags. We're in the process right now of renegotiating the agreement based on communications with the contact person at the base, and it should be within either days or weeks.
Oh, nice. But that's been your main focus or your main issue to deal with, to resolve lately in terms of access?
Lately, yeah.
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 And that's like, you guys have so many cliffs
We have
now,
a lot of climbing
it seems,
areas.
compared to when I first started climbing here, and you mentioned Wellsford, Cochrane Lane, like that was a place where Nova Scotia climbers, a place we would travel to for weekend trips,
Right.
because it's a super cool multi-tiered cliff. You can do some multi-pitch
There's
stuff there,
multi-pitch there, like up to 3 pitches.
but it's quite high and it has all these different tiers with some great granite. So yeah, I think maintaining access to that cliff helps Nova Scotia climbers as well, like you say, and that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Like
we share memberships.
Today, just, walking around, talking to Nova Scotia climbers, there was like lots that were asking me about Wellsford, Cochrane Lane, set aside, and talking about how much they like climbing there and can't wait to go back.
Nice.
So,
and speaking of cliff access, the event today at the Main Face Rendezvous was on a piece of land owned by one of our climbing community members.
right.
Adam Benjamin. He doesn't own the whole thing, but a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
And he's been really helping out in maintaining access and developing trails and cleaning up the place, adding new routes. So super grateful for him.
What an ideal situation.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to
Y'all are
keep
lucky.
Adam happy. Yeah, for sure. You talked about your passion for route development earlier. And I had asked Samantha, who was on the show previously, asking her if she had a question for you, and she brought up route development.
Okay.
And she wondered how we as climbers can recognize that effort and appreciate those individuals.
I think just having a conversation, like saying to the route developer, I climbed your route the other day and this is what I thought of it.
It sucked.
Well, it doesn't even have to be good. It's just like, I think
Please don't do that again.
it's just nice to know that someone is getting on the route that you put up and experiencing it. I think that just means something. So when you find that out that somebody did, it's like it means something to you, and it kind of makes you feel like you're doing it for a good purpose. Because when I develop routes, I'm definitely doing it for myself, but I think I'm doing it more for the benefit of other people, because I enjoy, like I like sharing. Like I find something good, I want to like tell people about it.
I like that. I like how you frame that, because it's like, because I've done a bit of route development around here as well, and it's rewarding. It's like you're creating an experience
Exactly.
for other people, and then like you're doing it because there's a certain joy in opening up. There's an adventure and a discovery and finding new lines. That's quite satisfying as a route developer.
Absolutely.
But it is really neat to observe people that might be having great experiences on something that you help to open up.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about all those people there today, enjoying the work that all those developers, the first ascensionists, put in to those rock climbs. Like,
Yeah.
that's really, really something.
Yeah. But I guess on the other side, to maybe answer Samantha's question, those individuals, they're sort of recognized in the guidebooks, right? Like people get their names attached to routes as FA by so-and-so. So in a way, we're already acknowledging their efforts and cataloging it. And that. So, and I don't even think anything extra has to be done for the developers in a way, because the satisfaction that they're getting, that you and I are getting from like just seeing people having fun on stuff that we help to create, is kind of reward enough, really.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I guess sometimes you're just not going to know if that particular climb is getting done. So if it's something that you're never going to know about, and then someone does share with you, I did climb that. And
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
this is what I thought.
Yeah, that's a way you can do it. Any standout moments in your climbing career, if you want to call that? Anything that sticks out in your mind as like special moments you've had on the rock or with friends or?
Yeah, I guess a couple of things come to mind. It's funny how the first thing that goes in my mind is like ice.
Oh,
no, it's ice climbing. It's like we've been talking about rock climbing mostly. There's something unique about ice climbing. I mean, there are similarities between ice climbing and rock climbing, but ice climbing it's a different beast. And it provides this different experience. And I think the experience that you have with the people that you're climbing with are a little bit richer and deeper. And it's probably related to some of the suffering that goes involved. So that's one thing that comes to mind. Like people are suffering with you, and it seems to be more meaningful. That and like experiences in the mountains, like while working for Knowles, like we would take students climbing, and like alpine climbing in the Wind River Range is just fantastic. So I have some really good memories of that. Doing a climb there, 10 or 12 pitch route with 2 students that were relatively new to climbing, and just like seeing them grow as climbers and people, because of this thing that they're doing is rewarding, meaningful.
You're sharing your knowledge and stoke with like getting other people kind of stoked into it, and like it's like a light bulb moment almost, right? Where people are seeing this activity as something that can be so life enriching.
Yeah, and I'm sure for some people life changing. Like you hear about that like from time to time, how climbing changes people's lives, gives them something, in some cases people something to live for.
Yeah, there's so much to it.
Yeah.
What's your future goals, or what's next for you?
Going to Greece, going to climb some beautiful limestone routes there. And then when I return from that, heading back down to Mexico. And I have mostly development goals, things to do down there. I also really enjoy like picking a project, like a route that needs attention, needs TLC, and then fixing that. Did that a fair amount in the last couple of years. And that is also really enjoyable.
Cool. Anything else you want to say?
No, I really like coming here. Thanks for your hospitality.
Oh, it's been fun.
It's been a great weekend.
Really enjoying it. Yeah. On behalf of all the folks that have enjoyed your routes at Cape Clear, Potrero, New Brunswick, thank you from everybody for creating those experiences. And
it's my pleasure.
And keep inspiring the rest of us. You're doing a great job. Thanks again, Greg. It was great having that unfiltered chat with you. Too bad the weather didn't cooperate for our plan to climb Siren Song together, but hopefully next year. Big thanks to Climb Nova Scotia for sponsoring the podcast, and also for the support from East Peak Climbing Gym, Unfiltered Brewing, and Seven Bays Bouldering. Catch you all later.
Time for another double IPA, I think. Eh?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
You could lay back it.
I wouldn't. I hate laybacking.
Do you know about this new walkie-talkie called the Rocky Talkie? The new walkie-talkie called the Rocky Talkie? The new walkie-talkie called the Rocky Talkie? The new walkie-talkie called the Rocky Talkie?